There's been 3 new additions on the Charlotte Tilbury website, 1 reformulation, 2 brand new products. I've had so many questions in the comment section asking me if I am going to be reviewing these. What are my thoughts and feelings? Do I feel like they are worth the hype? Well, today is the day. I've been wearing these for the last 3 days. We're now on day 4, so I feel like I've got to grips with these, how they wear, how to apply them to get the best out of them. Do I like them? Well, you're going to have to stick around to the end of the video to find that out. Let's start off with the reformulation of the Airbrush Flawless Foundation. Got there in the end. So we can't talk about the new formula without talking about the old formula. Now, I don't have them to compare like for like because I got rid of that foundation quite a long time ago. It wasn't my favourite, so I absolutely adored it on first application. It was a little bit of a challenge to apply because it did dry down quite quickly, but I thought the airbrushing, the smoothing was just superb and it looked stunning on my skin straight away. The problem was it was quite a temperamental foundation, so depending on my skincare, and sometimes not even depending on my skincare, it didn't wear well throughout the day. It started to look very heavy, it started to look very cakey, and in some instances quite patchy as well. And there never seemed to be a reason for it. Just one day it decided to look perfect, the next day it didn't. So yeah, I daren't wear it for that reason. On those days where I desperately wanted my makeup to look flawless, it was never one that I reached for because it just wasn't one that I could rely upon. So the difference between the old formula and the new formula. So the new formula is supposed to give longer wear, lasts up to 24 hours. It's got a lighter feel on the skin, light as air, full coverage is what they call it on the Charlotte Tilbury website. It's supposed to give you a 3D matte, not flat finish. I didn't think the old version was too flat, but you know, that's just my opinion. And it's waterproof, transfer proof, humidity proof, and sweat proof. It's got even more skincare benefits in the new formula than the old, and it comes in 44 shades. This is going to set you back £39 in the UK. You get the standard 30 mils, 1 fluid ounce, and it's going to give you anywhere from medium to full coverage in my experience, depending on how you apply it, whether that's with a sponge, whether it's with a brush, whether it's with your fingertips. This is jam-packed full of glycerin. It does contain some really nice soothing ingredients as well. It does contain alcohol, but it is free of fragrance and essential oils. You only need 1 pump for the entire face. 1 pump goes an incredibly long way. Most people will use less than a full pump to get the coverage that they require. This does give you a little bit more playtime for application, so it doesn't set immediately. However, it still sets very quickly, which is why I recommend either applying it with a brush and then going over it with a damp sponge to take off any of the excess, or just applying it with a damp sponge. I definitely do not recommend applying this with your fingertips. I got into a little bit of a mess on the day that I applied it with my fingers because I just couldn't work fast enough. The finish of this is definitely more of a natural matte. It's a matte with a slight luminosity to it, which I really, really like. It's very airbrushing, it's very smoothing on the skin, and it goes on beautifully, and my skin looks perfection when it's finished. I mean, there is nothing I can say that is negative about the look of this foundation when it's first applied. The problem comes with the wear. Now, on the Charlotte Tilbury website, it does say that after trying this foundation for the first time, 9 out of 10 people would switch to using this every day at home. And I think the only thing that surprises me there is that it's not 10 out of 10 people, because this looks so perfect on the skin. I would assume that everybody that tried this foundation would want to wear it again, unless they're wanting a light to medium coverage, in which case this foundation will not give you that. It gives medium to full, and it gives that in abundance. It does it very, very well. What is a little bit of a question mark in my mind is when this data was collected. Was it collected after first application, or was it collected after a few days wear? Because if it was collected after a few days wear, my question would be, why is it so high? Why is it 9 out of 10 people? Because for me, this is just as temperamental as the previous formula. Yes, it is easier to apply. Yes, it's smoothing, it's airbrushing, it looks absolutely beautiful on my skin, and it's quite lightweight. I wouldn't say it was weightless, but it is quite lightweight. The problem comes with the wear of this. Sometimes it looks perfect, sometimes it doesn't. And on the wear test that I did for you, after 6 hours, this is what the foundation looked like. It's looking a little heavy in places, looking a little cakey in places, and there's none left on the end of my chin. This is supposed to be a really long wearing formula, up to 24 hours wear. This was after 6, and this was including the setting spray over the top of it. So quite frankly, this should have lasted even longer with the added setting spray. So I was disappointed with this, but not overly surprised, because this is exactly how I felt about the last formula. So yeah, a little disappointed. I can't really see a massive difference in the two formulas, but I would be really, really grateful if you could let me know your thoughts on it. Have you tried it already? Do you prefer it to the old formula? Do you not? Does it suit your skin? Does it not? Do let everybody know in the comments section. Next up, we've got the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray Matte Blur. Now, this really intrigued me. I do love a matte setting spray, especially one that is also going to mattify, smooth, and set my makeup all day. Not only was this intriguing to me for the airbrushing effect and the mattifying effect, but also this doesn't contain any alcohol. And you all know my favorite setting spray of all time is the One Size setting spray. It just makes my makeup bulletproof. It does not move throughout the day. It doesn't change throughout the day. And that one does contain a lot of alcohol in it, so I tend not to use it very frequently, only on those days where I need my makeup to last. So this one was a hallelujah moment when this was first brought out. I was really excited to try it. So let's just, I'm not going to sugarcoat this because I don't think it's fair. These are my thoughts. You do have to seriously shake this up to wake it up before you spray it on the face. The problem straight away that struck me was the spray on this, once again, very temperamental. Sometimes it's a lovely mist. Other times it squirts at me and hits me in the eye. I mean, the spray on this was like somebody spitting at me. So sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it's beautiful. And today it's beautiful. Yesterday I had little dots all over my face from where this hit my face. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there, but I have had more affordable setting sprays with better mists on them. I would definitely say this was a spray, not a mist, which was disappointing. Or at least it depends on how it feels when it wakes up in the morning, whether it's going to spray you or mist you. And I'm not sure why. I don't know what I've done wrong to this setting spray for it to treat me this way. I just think it's very rude. So the setting spray says that it will prime and set for up to 16 hours. It will help with oil and shine control. It's waterproof, and there will be no melting, no fading, and no creasing. And I do agree with that in the main. In the main. This does, as soon as I spray it on my skin, take quite a while to dry down. Once it has dried down, however, you get that lovely airbrushed effect, but it does give you a bit of a tight feeling to the skin. That old setting spray feeling that we were used to years and years and years ago, this does give. And it doesn't matter what foundation you put it over the top of. You can put it over the top of a really lightweight skin tint. It still gives you that really tight feeling on the skin, which I'm not keen on. I don't mind if it's going to work, but it's not the feeling that I would like to my makeup every single day. This definitely does add an extra layer of longevity on top of your foundation. So I have found that this will make a foundation last a little bit longer, not massively so. And it doesn't make it bulletproof. It doesn't make it transfer resistant, but the difference is definitely there. And I do love the appearance of my skin after I've applied this. The problem for me with these two together is this is supposed to be waterproof, but this is also supposed to be waterproof. I have an oily T-zone. Where is that moisture supposed to go? It's like it gets trapped underneath the foundation, and that's where that cakiness comes from, and that lifting, and then that patchiness. So I have tried the Airbrush Flawless foundation on its own without setting spray, and I've tried it with setting spray. I get very similar results from both. It lasts a little bit longer with the setting spray over the top, but it looks a little bit cakier at the end of the day with them both teamed together. So, you know, I don't know. I prefer using this on its own with a different foundation. I get really nice results with that, and it just takes the edge off a little bit of shine. It takes the edge off my pores, texture. I do really like this, but I think it's a work in progress. I'm not sure this is the final article. I will definitely be using it again though, but it sits underneath my favorite. This has definitely not taken over from the One Size setting spray. It is kinder on the skin though. I did mention earlier that this gives a tight feeling on the surface of the skin. I don't want you to misinterpret that as this is drying, because this is not drying. I haven't had any dryness on my skin. I haven't had any dryness poking through my skin, anything that makes my foundation look dry. I am on day 4. Usually with products like this, after day 1, I get a lot of dryness, irritation, flaking, because I do have those dry zones on my skin. This hasn't accentuated those or brought those out in my skin at all. So there is a tight feeling on the surface of the skin, but it's not a drying formula. Let's move on to the life-changing lip mask. Now, I thought this was a gimmick. I do love the packaging, but I thought this was going to be my least favorite product out of all 3 products. I just thought, oh, here we go, another lip product, another way to scam money out of us. Really expensive product for just a generic lip balm, essentially. But I actually really like this, and it surprised me. So this is supposed to plump the look of the lips by 45% in 28 days. You know the Charlotte Tilbury brand does like their percentages. Lips are instantly 170% more hydrated. Obviously, this is a lip balm. It's not going to dehydrate your lips. It is going to plump them, smooth them, add that hydration, bring lip colour back to life. There are 2 shades of this, one clear and one in Pillow Talk. So it's quite a nice pinky, like a warm pink. And it sculpts the look of your lip line, and it primes to create a pillowy base for lip makeup. Now, I've only used this on its own. I haven't used this with lipstick over the top because, quite frankly, I can't get enough. And I do think this colour, the Pillow Talk colour, is subtle but enough for me. So I just use a little bit of lip liner and then fill this in. I'm not usually one to get my fingers messy, so I prefer a lip balm in stick format rather than getting it on my finger, but I do really like this one. It is quite a hard, creamy yet waxy formulation, so one of these tubs is going to last you for an incredibly long amount of time, and because of that texture, it sits on the lips. It is quite a sticky formula. Your lips don't stick together, but what I mean by sticking is it's going nowhere. Once it's on your lips, it's going to last a really long time, so you're not going to be constantly touching your lips up. So I think it's a triumph. I'm not going to be picking up the clear one because this is subtle enough for me to just use this product. You can apply it over the top of lip products. You can apply it under lip products to prime before applying maybe a matte lipstick or whatever you prefer. Or you can wear it on its own. And I prefer to wear it on its own. I think it is lovely. I think it's expensive for what it is, but the packaging's nice, the formula's nice, and it's my favourite out of all three. Let's rank them in order of preference. The life-changing lip mask in the shade Pillow Talk. Love, love, love. Really glad that I picked this up. I thought it was going to be one of those that I just threw over my shoulder and never used again, when actually I got a feeling I'm going to be buying more of these because I'm going to want one in my handbag, one at home, one in the car, that sort of thing. It is a lovely, lovely product. Second favourite's got to go to the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray Matte Blur. The look of my skin when this has just been sprayed and it's set down is stunning. Absolutely beautiful. This is for everyday use for me. Obviously, the one size product is heavy on the alcohol, whereas this doesn't have any alcohol in it. So on the days where I'm not using my one size setting spray, I'll be giving this one another whirl. Yes, it gives me that tight feeling, but I'll get used to it. I mean, it does increase the longevity of my makeup. So that's what I want a setting spray to do. And finally, in third position, we've got the Airbrush Flawless Foundation. Nothing groundbreaking about this. To be quite honest, I don't see a massive difference between this one and the old formula, and I wasn't keen on the old formula because of its temperamental attitude. This has an attitude with me, this foundation. It may not have an attitude with you. It may just be a bit of a teenager with me. So I don't know. I'd love your thoughts on this foundation. If you have tried it already, do let me know and everybody else know in the comments section how you've got on with this. And also whether you've tried all the other products that I've mentioned in this video. Do let everybody know your thoughts. I am pleasantly surprised, but not blown away. If that makes any sense whatsoever. I hope you found this helpful. I really do. If you know anybody else that may find this helpful, please share this video with them. Also, please don't forget to like and subscribe before you leave, and hope to see you all in the next video. Bye everyone.